Can you imagine a MOBA where a character's ultimate makes them a true copycat of another character? I don't just mean in image, I mean in abilities, in build, in potions, active items, everything. Enter the Morrigan, Smite 2's least popular god. Wait, what? Yes, that's correct. In the totality of the game, the Morrigan is the least popular god in Smite 2, and today, I'm going to be trying to give this character the justice that she deserves because she is, in my mind, the hidden gem of Smite 2. Let's take a quick look at the Morrigan's base kit. Her passive. Every third auto you throw is enhanced, dealing a poison-esque effect while having a larger radius. Very simple. Her first ability is a triangle stun. It has a bit of a sound cue and a wind up, so you're not particularly subtle in using it, and it's very short in range, but the base damage and the utility of it, pretty powerful. Still quite simple. The second ability is where she gets a lot more interesting. You throw out a line shot that has a deceptively long range, doing a small amount of damage. However, if you use another damaging ability, or you use your enhanced auto attack from your passive, the mark detonates, doing as much damage as the initial hit once again. The Morrigan's third ability makes her go invisible for a period of time, whilst giving her also movement speed. And the ultimate. That's the crown jewel of this character. Turn into any god in the match for 10 seconds. Okay, cool. So the kit is giving us this sort of flanky, stealth, shorter range mage that has a little bit of poke. Kind of makes sense. It's a little bit weird. She does have some kind of identity here. Is this really so niche that this god's play rate is virtually non-existent? And I think to go into this, there's going to be a couple of reasons why the Morrigan really isn't played. And before I show the massive upside of this god, I think it's important I address them. So, number one, why is the Morrigan not played? This is probably the most obvious, it's difficulty. The Morrigan is a hard character. Her kit not having an official type of movement ability outside of potentially the ultimate really means that if you're getting jumped on, you're in trouble. The general short range of the character also means that you kind of have to be really close to be hugely effective. And if you're going invisible to then walk up, use your 2, and then use your 1 to get the maximum amount of damage while threading an auto attacks and all of that, and then transforming into another kit, you're doing so many different things in kind of this correct, appropriate order that for newer players, for even experienced players, it's just kind of hard, right? There's a lot of rhythm and a bit of skill to it, obviously. And you've probably seen this character a couple of times in playing Smite 2 recently. It tends to have really high highs, but also extreme lows. And if people's only value on the god, half the time you see it, tends to be ulting into the guy they fed, looks a little bit rough, doesn't it? Number two, why she's not so popular. I think it's fitting into the casual modes. I think the Morrigan is one of those characters, sort of like Aladdin, that's very much designed for conquest. Can she work in, say, Joust? I think sort of, but does she really work in like Arena or Assault? I don't think as much. The short range she has definitely makes her thrive in kind of isolated fights, 1v1 laning phases, 2v2 laning phases maybe, as well as like the bushes flanking all the time. Really helps her in that kind of conquest isolation that it brings. And I think if you're trying to play her in these more casual modes to like learn gods and stuff, Mori's really not going to fit and come off as even more intimidating and difficult. And yeah, number three, the elephant in the room. I think it's a really unfair one, but it's the bugginess of this god. The Morrigan has a uniquely awful reputation for being really buggy. And look, I think once upon a time I'd agree with that idea. Genuinely, in playing this character, I haven't ran into many god-specific bugs in literally months. There's a couple of little things that are a bit annoying, but they're usually self-inflicted debuffs rather than like game-changing bugs, and they're also very tricky to replicate. So because of this though, the Morrigan is banned from all competitive tournaments. So streamers don't play her, content creators don't play her, nobody does because they don't feel a reason to upload pics for this character because there's like no point she's ever actually going to get played. And I think that really sucks. I think that's a bit lame. Again, most of the bugs that I've really run into are, again, largely not replicable, and maybe they happen every couple of games out of 100. And again, she's like weird, she's tricky. It's kind of bound to happen. I think something that's a bit unfair with the god is this game is a beta. Every god has potential bugs. The fact that the Morrigan specifically is outlined for being a buggy character and competitively banned permanently when other gods come and go with bugs that aren't always reported just doesn't really make sense to me. I think it's just dishonest. Alright, so we talked about why she's unpopular, but let's talk about what actually makes the Morrigan so great, and that's skill expression.
Bots.
A Wheelix. Artemis. Nemesis.
So bad. Rom. Yemocha.
Thanatos. Zeus.
You can call it head spinning, you can call it hectic, but you can't call it boring. When you start shuffling abilities with polyautos into a god transform, using active items, then new abilities, now upgraded relics, ultimates, all this stuff, you get a nearly unlimited amount of potential plays, and I think that's really the gem of the Morrigan. When this god clicks, and it can take a while for it to click, the amount of possibilities you have feel infinite. Her best roles are currently probably solo and support, but you can play her mid and jungle also a little bit. This god has so much built-in flexibility and adaptability in the sense that she can literally mold to whatever you want. Do you need more peel? Turn into a tank and peel, right? You need more dive? Turn into a tank and dive. Need to kill an objective? Turn into a hunter and do it. Need to win? You might not even need your ult, because her base kit is actually good if you put in the time and effort into learning her. So let's get her play rate up so this god actually gets some attention. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.